They're witches.
So, apparently I'm a witch.
Cause she's a witch.
We've got a witch!
I'm the love witch.
I am a witch.
I am a witch.
I'm a witch!
Sally just came out.
Now the witch is back!
Indeed, now the witch is back. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Beyond Authentic, where we are going to be doing some tarot reading this evening. If you are brand new here, my name is Lisa. I am a liminal witch, and I've been reading the tarot cards for more years than I care to remember. It is actually my 30th anniversary year this year. 30 years since I got into the tarot, which is absolutely bonkers because I'm barely 30 years old, so I don't quite know how that even works, but apparently it's a thing. So yes, good evening to you. If you are brand new here, then I will just explain. We get tarot readings on this channel. How we do them is dead simple. If you would like a tarot reading, you have to wait until you hear this noise. That tells you that the round is open, that we are opening a round for you to get your question in, okay? What you need to do with that is literally pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. One of those will get selected at random, okay? When that happens, everybody else who isn't selected, copy and paste or copy and select and copy, select and copy your question and get ready to post it on the next round. If, however, you want to guarantee that you are able to get that first reading or that next reading, then you can do so by sending a super chat. Any amount takes the next available slot, and a reading of £8 or a donation of £8 or $10 or more, that will get you a longer tarot reading. Okay, that's how all of that works on this channel. Don't forget as well, we do have a few housekeeping details here. Now, one of those is actually really important. In fact, most of those are actually really important. I'm just making sure, there we go, that I can get this up in the chat. Oh, bear with me 1 second. It doesn't want to pop up. Why can't I get that on screen? What have I got? Oh, there we go. That's the reason why. So then, just down here, you can see the rules of how to get a reading, but it also says that you've got to be 18 years of age or over. Now, on this channel, we do readings a little bit differently to a lot of other tarot readers, and basically what that means is if you are somebody who wants a nice gentle, soft and delicate, like a flower reading, where you want some gentle guidance to help you through, and you want me to hold your hand as we skip together over life's little difficulties, and we move forward together, then you're in the wrong channel, right? So know what we do here. We specialize on this channel in telling you what you need to know, not what you want to hear, right? So if you're asking about what an ex-partner feels about you and they are a complete prize plonker, we'll tell you they're a prize plonker if that's what comes up in the cards, right? We will tell you, listen, if you want a tarot reading, it's because you want to know something, right? You desperately want some guidance, some answers. That is what you want. You want some solutions to what you are struggling with. What you don't need is somebody giving you a load of platitudes. So that's not what we do here. We do things, what I always say, it's a bit like your best mate. If you've been a bit down for a few weeks, a friend will say, oh, sorry you're feeling down. When you're feeling better, let me know, we'll go for coffee, all right? Your best friend will go, look, I know you're feeling down, but you've been in that bed for 3 weeks solid now. Your breath will stink. Get in that shower, brush your teeth, throw some clothes on. I'm going to be there in half an hour, whether you want to or not. We're going out for coffee. I'm going to get you out in the sunshine. And then afterwards, I've got a 2-for-1 deal on cocktails, if you fancy that as well. Only your best mate can be that blunt. Only your best mate can tell you what you need to know. That's how we do our tarot readings. So if you would like one of those and you're all okay with that, then this is the housekeeping. Before we go on, here's the housekeeping. Tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all of your own decisions about your own life. Tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counselling advice. If you're looking for support in these areas, please do seek out professionals in these areas. You do have to be 18 years of age or over to get a tarot reading on this channel. And remember, please don't share private information here or anywhere else on the internet that you wouldn't want anyone or everyone finding out about now or anytime in the future. Absolutely, that is very, very important. Please do not dox yourself. Also, if there is anything at any point that you have a question about on this channel, I am very, very grateful to have a small team of very dedicated moderators who I adore, some of the best people on the planet, and you can see them down in the chat. They have their name is in blue and they've got a spanner or a little wrench next to their names. Oh gosh, sorry, I was muted. Sorry. I was just saying, spiritual inspiration. I really like your picture. We've got a members only chat, so I was a little bit late because I was in that. We were talking about spiritual encounters, ghost encounters, and things like that. And it was it was such a really good chat, right? Really exciting. Really, how can I put it? Like, there was lots of people sharing their experiences, I was sharing mine, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh my god, it's 7 o'clock, I've got to go. So if you fancy joining in with that, then somewhere I think it's in the bit where you chat, right? I think you click on that somewhere, and then there's like a dollar note, pound note, money note thing, and I think it's somewhere there. You can hit the join button. I still don't know. Belinda Jane Harris, good evening to you, my darling. Good evening to Shannon Demdike, the Wiccan Midnight Crafter. Good evening to you, otherwise known as Sarah. Good evening to everybody that is joining us. Good evening to Holland. Hello, Holland, waving emoji. Hello to you. Holland is one of our mods as well, but Holland probably will just be popping in for a couple of minutes. And we'll have Ed later on. So we're all good. So then, I think it's time. We've done the housekeeping. We've done the rules on the way we get the chat. I am going to introduce you, if you're brand new here, to a wonderful deck. This is the Fifth Spirit deck. It is absolutely amazing. Very upfront, very forward, but it's also, now if you're American, depending on whether you're red or blue, you might really hate this, because this is incredibly diverse and inclusive. There are people in here of all sorts of body types, races, genders, gender expressions. There are people who have disabilities. There are people every walk of life. It's a bit like walking down the road in a main city, because you see different people, and that's what you get when you walk down the city. So yeah, that is what this deck is, right? I love it. Patricia in the chat has been a tarot reader probably longer than me, and I've been doing this 30 years. And Patricia also got one of these decks and fell in love with this deck. It is an amazing deck. Oh, we've got some anniversaries in the chat today. Let's have a look at these anniversaries. Who have we got? Holland has been a member for 11 months. Yay! Oh gosh, you can't see that, can you? I've just realised the on-screen chat isn't up. I've only just this second realised that. I do apologise. There you go. Look. Yay, Holland. What does that say? 11 months Americano with oat. That's the... We've got layers. There are levels on the membership, because I like my coffee. And when I say like my coffee, I'm addicted to my coffee. Rabina Sahunter's here. Hello, my friend. Nice to see you. Nice. I've been watching some old 70s and 80s TV programs from the UK. So, you know, I had to do that. Hold on. Come on, back up in the chat. Sarah, Shannon Demdike, the Wicker Midnight Crafter. Time flies. It only feels like a few weeks. And that's 4 months for you, my darling. I get another Americano with oat. That may or may not be my go-to drink at Costa. Just saying. If you ever see me out and about in the street and you fancy a coffee, I'm always up for it. And normally got a tarot deck in my pocket. Normally got a tarot deck in my handbag. Normally. What's this? You're always up for dancing. I feel like dancing, dance the night away. Do you? That's good. I'm always up for coffee and tarot. So, you know, between us, we cover all. It's a very wide group of people here, which I love, by the way. Listen, if you are new here, if you're watching this on replay and you haven't joined us on a live stream, we have such a warm community in this tiny little speck of the YouTube space. It's so lovely. Percy's here as well. Hi, Percy. This community is so blooming lovely, right? People look out for each other. People offer advice, practical, mundane advice and magical advice in the chat. It is such a warm space. I adore our little community that we are slowly carving out for ourselves. Oh, don't do that, Holland. So the mods do have a little game, right? And I believe it was Ed who started this, because I've known Ed both online and in real life for a long, long time. Because of my ADHD, I am very easily triggered for singing, right? Very easily triggered for singing. So, there may be trouble ahead, but while there's moonlight and music and love and romance, let's face the music and dance. That's my tap shoes going. Right, I'm not doing any more. Watch out, Dormouse, you could get squashed, then there'll be a murder on the dance floor. Oh, stop it. You're all doing it now. Murder on the dance floor. You better not stop the groove, DJ, and burn this goddamn house right down. Right, let's do some tarot. Enough singing. So my other half, so I used to sing, I used to perform on stage. My other half will say, yeah, you know you're not a singer anymore. And I go, well, I can still. He says, no, you're not a singer anymore. You don't do the warm-up exercises. You used to be really good when you did all your warm-up exercises and you practice, but you haven't done that for a little while. Maybe. So anyway, to get me to do something that isn't singing, let's go ahead and open a round. So then, the round is open. If you would like to get yourself a tarot reading on this channel, go ahead, pop your question to that there live chat, starting with the word question, or send your thank you, Patricia, or send your question through in the form of a super chat. Remember, any amount will get you the very next spot. And if you want to donate more than £8, or 10 US dollars, that will get you a longer 6 or 7 card reading. Where are we going to start with today? I think we're going to start with Stonehenge. So everybody, you've got about 30 seconds to get your questions in, and then the keeper of the questions will tell me which one we're reading for. So then, let's have a look. Ask your question now. Send your question as a super chat to guarantee your 3-card reading is next. Donations of $10 or £8 or over will receive a longer 6 or 7 card reading. To try for a free reading, write your question in the live chat starting with the word question. If no super chats come in, a free question will be chosen at random. And if you need help, just ask one of our mods. Indeed, our mods are always available, and you can tell one of the mods in the chat because the mods have their name in blue, as I say. So then, keeper of the questions, who have we got in today's first of all for today's doodah, for today's readings? Who is the first person that we are reading for? I'm just waiting. Thank you very much. Musical beer. You've seen what happens when I'm not on the beer or the alcohol in any way. I seem to remember being musical. I'm actually not, but I suppose it's better than musical. What was it called? Musical fruit? Musical vegetables? Do you know what I mean? Right, Musical Beer, I've got you in the chat, my darling. Good evening, Musical Beer. I believe that's the first time I'm seeing that name. So hello, welcome to the channel. What did Conrad think after he saw you on Friday? Okay, I guess we'll see what the cards have to say. Let's have a look. So then we're going to swap the camera over. And as always, we cleanse the space. Oh gosh, what is going on with that image? Hold on a second. No, I've gone the opposite way. No, I've gone the opposite way again. Hold on. Sorry if you're seasick. Right, let me... Do I just need to gently move that? That's probably all I needed to do. Oh gosh, bear with everybody. Sorry if you're seasick. There we go. Will that help? Is that right? Is it even? No. Oh gosh. Bear with everybody. Bear with just 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. I'm ready. Oh. There we go. Right. Hopefully. There we go. Will that do? Is that okay, everybody? I think that's okay, everybody. Right then. So, as always, we will cleanse the space and... Oh, God, hang on. Sorry, bear with. Bear with. I'm just in the process of sorting this blooming camera out. I do apologise, everybody. Give me just 1 second. Card cam. There we go. I don't know why. I moved it on one. It should have moved to the same on both. But there we go. You can see me now. Hello, that's me in the corner. So then, question. What did Conrad think after he saw you on Friday? Let's have a look. So we cleanse the space with a lovely bell. And we bring in Wispy. Wispy is the elemental air dragon that I work with. I haven't gone mad. There's a whole podcast episode about the dragons and my egregore servitors, what they mean, what they are, what they link to, all of that. And I will put that link in the chat now. So if you want to go and check that out, it should be appearing in the chat. Yes, it is. There's also a link to it just down below in the description box. So do check that out as well. Right then. So the question, Wispy, that we've got from Musical Beer. What did Conrad think after he saw me on Friday? What did Conrad think after he saw Musical Beer on Friday? Let's have a look for you, my darling. So it's a 3-card reading. And here we do a standard 3-card. Instead of it being past, present, future, we go with where you are, what you need to know, and what the future opportunity is. So in other words, which way are the fates looking? Which way are things going to be playing out? So let's have a look, shall we? Here we go. And we've got... Oh, I don't know when that dropped. So I'm putting that on the bottom. I don't know when that happened. So, oh, the Lovers. The Lovers. Where you are is the Lovers. That's fascinating. Right, that's so the Lovers is a major arcana card. When we say majors, the major arcana are the ones you often see on telly. So these are the named cards, like the Hierophant, the Lovers, the Wheel of Fortune, the Death card and the Devil card. All of those, the Fool, they are all the major arcanas. These are the big shouty cards. These are the really big important cards in the deck. Okay, the others are the minor arcanas. Those ones fill in the detail. So I always say these are the headlines. The other suits in the deck, they tell us the nuts and bolts. They give us the details of the story. So what you need to know, the 8 of Pentacles, and where you are headed with the future opportunity. We've got the 5 of Cups. Right then. So with the Lovers coming up, the Lovers is, in this deck, it's not always about a romantic love. It can also represent a either a platonic love or learning to love yourself, something like that. It can also represent those. But what I will say is when you are asking a specific romantic type question, if this is a romantic connection between you and Conrad, then it feels like there is that definite spark. There is that romantic energy here. The Lovers card is all about what it says on the tin. When you're asking a romance question, this is very much in that romance field. Okay, so I do think there is a very strong possibility, if there isn't already a romantic connection, that there is something there that can develop that. Do you know what I mean? That doesn't mean to say that Conrad's gonna sweep you off your feet. It doesn't mean to say that if Conrad isn't a good person that you are going to just be with them no matter what. It is all about our own personal will at the end of the day. And if you decide to maybe go on a date and it turns out that Conrad really isn't for you for whatever reason, those red flags are waving in the distance or waving up close, you don't have to be with them. Do you know what I mean? These cards, tarot is not laid in stone, is what I'm trying to say. But the Lovers, if there is a romantic interest from you, it feels like there is a very much a mirroring of that energy coming from Conrad. In terms of what you need to know, it is going to take some work, my darling. So the Eight of Pentacles is all about work, career, finances. So if you work together in a business type situation or in in your job, then that could also indicate something here. If you don't work together, then this is telling you it's going to take some effort. Right? I don't know whether that could be because of distance. It could be because of, situations. It could be because somebody's timescales might not fully meet up, whatever it is. The Eight of Pentacles is all about working flat out to hit targets, to get projects in on time, to work to those deadlines, all of that. Eights are all about the journey to the nine. So it's effectively the key point of the the eights in the deck is about getting that to that finishing point, getting to crossing that line. It's really, really, really like the key reason for this card. The fact that it's Pentacles, either there is a financial element here, and maybe Conrad is working all hours or you're working all hours, but I actually feel this is more likely to be that you're going to have to put some effort in. So in this case, we're going with the Pentacles. The elemental connection is with earth energy, which is all about growth and all about, you put that work in to get those results. You don't just put a load of seeds in the ground and expect a full field of wheat. You've got to turn the ground, nurture the ground, make sure it's got the right nutrients, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? It takes a lot of effort to get that field of wheat. However, having said all of that, I do think this is the future opportunity. And I do think there are some, I won't say hurdles, but there are going to be a little bit of working things out, put it that way, right? Because the Five of Cups, fives are all about things being a little bit uncertain, things being in a little bit of turmoil. If you think about where the suit is, it goes from ace to 10, and then in a regular deck of playing cards, and then with a regular deck of cards it goes Jack, Queen, King. With the tarot it goes Page, Knight, Queen, King. The five is right in that center of those numbers. It's right in that midway point. And this is where quite often in our journeys in life, you'll take a breath, you'll stop, you'll look around. Where am I? How far have I gone? I'm on life's journey. It's not quite midlife crisis, but it's sort of looking at where you are and reassessing. And the thing about the Five of Cups, it's well known for being a card that talks about there being, five cups, but some of them are broken. Some of them aren't working particularly well. In this case, you can see we've got a soda can, we've got a broken bottle, an empty cup, and then we've also got a cup with probably a tea bag in and a glass of water. So this represents those five cups. This one here, dented, rusted, empty can. It's not very good. This one here, a broken bottle. That's not very good. And then this one is empty. Oh, that's not very good either. So when you look at them on that surface, you think, oh, I've got three. I've only got five cups. Three of them are useless. No, because this cup isn't broken. It's just empty. You've just drunk it is all. And you've still got these two in perfect order. So you've got 3 working cups. You just need to refill this one. When we look at the cards in tarot, because tarot is all about symbolism, so anywhere you see a body of water, we're talking about emotions. Cups is your emotional suit. So Pentacles is work, career, finances. Cups is emotions. So we've got all of that going on. Anytime you see water, that also means emotions and emotional issues. The fact that this is deep, dark water means that there is some deep issues here that you need to kind of maybe work through together, whether that is from Conrad's perspective or from yours. It feels like there is an interest here in Conrad, by Conrad, to have a relationship, right? There really is. This feels very positive. Both the 8 is about moving on at haste. The 5 is looking at things from a more positive than negative perspective. This is about looking at those silver linings, looking for the, you know, the sunlight coming up at dawn. Do you know what I mean? So I do think this is really positive. This, however, in the fact that it's going to take a bit of effort for you two to get together, I think this is saying there might be a couple of things that need resolving in terms of maybe your past or Conrad's past. Probably Conrad's, because the question was more about him. But I do think there's something here about Conrad's past that maybe you need to just resolve, or it might be something that is a bit of a stumbling block. So whether that is a deep, dark personal secret that Conrad may not be ready to share with you yet, or whether it's just, you know, a scheduling issue, whatever it is, it does feel something that is surmountable. It is, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? It's something that will just be a pebble in the road. It isn't going to be a roadblock. Do you know what I mean? It's just something you're going to have to work through. I hope that helps, my darling. It does feel, listen, if you want a relationship with Conrad, it feels like it's here that Conrad is looking at this as well, right? If you want that emotional relationship, it does feel as if this is on the cards. Again, it's going to take some effort to make that happen. Whether that's a scheduling, whether that's you know, making sure that if you both do work in the same environment, make sure there aren't rules by HR that you can't both date in the same business, in the same office, same department, whatever. Just make sure that things are sorted from that perspective. But yeah, it feels like it's going to be down to whether or not you can make this bit work, right? This amount of effort. It may be you make a couple of dates, they get knocked back, you have to knock one back, he has to knock one back, you know, oh, this isn't quite, you know, oh, I couldn't get there because the car broke down, oh, I couldn't get there because I was working late that day, I'm really sorry. It's going to be something like that until you eventually get things sorted, and when you do, I think things will be okay. So I do hope that helps, Musical Beer. I do hope that helps. But yeah, it feels like whenever Conrad saw you on Friday, it was sort of, I don't want to say love at first sight, but it was probably a little bit of a wow moment. Do you know what I mean? Hope that helps, my darling. Thank you ever so much for the question. And yeah, hopefully that gives you at least some ideas to move forward. Don't forget, you do make all your own decisions about your own life, and tarot is for entertainment purposes only. I have to say that officially. But yeah, hope that helps, and let us know how things go, Musical Beer. If it turns out that you two are, you know, completely written in the stars together, that you two have the most wonderful connection of all, and you are headed for marriage and things like that, let us know, because we are yet to have a Beyond Authentic wedding. We've had a Beyond Authentic divorce, but we haven't had a Beyond Authentic wedding yet. So myself and the mods are eagerly waiting. Me and Patricia are ready and willing to pick out our wedding hats. Right, we're there with the little veil and everything, you know, like those, you get the little hat, like Ladies' Day at the races. Yeah, we're there for that. Other mods are there waiting for their suits and their waistcoats and all of that. Some of them are going to wear waistcoats and suits and a veil. And it's just, we're ready for it. Even if we can't be there in person, we can be there via Zoom or whatever. So we are ready for it. So let us know, my darling, how things go. Also, we're very nosy over here, so we're very supportive, but we're also very nosy. I hope that helps, and thank you very much for your question. Right there. shall we open the round again? Let's open another round. Straight in with another round of questions. So again, the round is open. Do go ahead. Pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, or send it through as a super chat if you want to guarantee that you get the next spot in the next spot, basically. Don't forget, if you do send it through as a super chat, if you send a donation of $8 or more, $10 or more, £8 UK, it will get you a longer reading. So you'll get a 6 or 7 card reading. Sometimes that's even extended to a 10 card reading, depending on what Wispy wants to give me. And at that point, you get that extended reading. It goes a lot deeper. We look into a lot more layers. So that is always there as well. Either way, you got about 30 seconds. Get those questions in and your time starts now. Ask your question now. Send your question as a super chat to guarantee your 3 card reading is next. Donations of $10 or £8 or over will receive a longer 6 or 7 card reading. To try for a free reading, write your question in the live chat starting with the word question. If no super chats come in, a free question will be chosen at random. And if you need help, just ask one of our mods. I very nearly dropped an entire can of pop of Pepsi over my desk then. That has been known to happen, except normally it's a coffee cup. But yes, that has been known to happen. So then, keeper of the questions, who have we got for the next reading? It looks like Rabina Sahunter. Rabina, my darling, good evening to you. A question, any good luck coming your way? Any good luck coming your way? Let's have a look, my darling. Let's have a look. So then, as always, I will swap over to the other camera. Hang on, let me just do that now. There we go. And I'm going to cleanse the space. And bring in Wispy. So then, Wispy, we've got Rabina Sahunter here, a friend of the channel for a long, long time. Rabina's been around on the channel for years and years and years. Rabina, I say years and years and years. I'm making you out to be like 100 years old there, Rabina. I do apologise. You know I don't mean that as that sounded. I am. We've got the old girl Rabina here from 1947. Anyway, I do apologise. That made you sound ancient. I really didn't mean that. Let's put some light on, shall we? It's starting to get into evening here. So let's put on the lights. I'll turn them down ever so slightly so they're not going to No, not that. So they're not going to strobe as much. They are strobing, aren't they? Unfortunately, is that okay for everybody? Unfortunately, when you try and dim the lights, that's when they strobe. So if I move them slightly further out, there we go. Hopefully that's okay. Right then, so Wispy, Rabina Sahunter would like to know, is there any good luck coming their way? Ever since the coffee and makeup lives, oh my gosh, that was a long time ago. That was on the other channel. That was on, oh no, it wasn't. That was here way back when. That's probably 5 years ago now. It was definitely pre-COVID, wasn't it? Wowza. Maybe even 6 years. Wow. Rabina's an OG. Rabina's a classic. Rabina's been here since before Patricia. Wow, Rabina. Oh, thank you for coming in again. Coffee and makeup. I forgot that we used to do that on this channel. Then I moved it to the health channel, didn't I? And I tried to rebrand that Beyond Authentic Health and Beauty, and then stopped doing the beauty content. Wowza. Right, let's have a look. Is there any Wispy? Is there any good luck coming for the lovely Rabina? Is there any good luck coming for Rabina here? Let's find out. So then, Wispy, we really want some good vibes if possible. But again, Rabina, you know the way it works on this channel. I can only give you the information the cards give me. And that information we pass on as it comes. So then let's have a look. Where you are right now, the Seven of Swords. Some difficult choices again, my darling. Some difficult choices. But, I mean, you know, we'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, some difficulty coming up, my love. So, right. I do think, right, there is some opportunities here. But overall, I think this coming month may well be a bit of a tough one for you as well. Reason I'm saying that, let me just shift this ever so slightly that way. There we go, like that. That should hopefully work better. The reason I'm saying that, my darling, is because the Seven of Swords. Melinda, I sent you an Instagram. I need your address, my darling. Sorry, that first mouthful of pop always repeats on me. So the Seven of Swords. Swords is trouble and strife. Swords is the hardships, the difficulties. Swords are the troubles in life, but they're the hurdles. Good evening, Culture Envy. They are the hurdles we've got to get through, right? These are the lessons we learn. We don't learn anything by not having anything happen. Do you know what I mean? Like, if life is very simple, we'll go through life not learning any deep life lessons, right? When life throws us those curveballs, we learn how to hit them. When life, gives you lemons, you learn to make lemonade. Do you know what I mean? There is an awful lot there around those life lessons. And the Seven of Swords, Swords is all about those life lessons, but Sevens are all about some really tough choices. When it comes to swords, these are going to be almost, you're in a between the rock and a hard place. A rock, not the rock, not Dwayne Johnson, right? A rock and a hard, I mean, there's a whole other story between the rock and a hard place, you know what I mean? But yeah, a rock and a hard place. You're between the devil and the deep blue sea here. And because this is reversed, I think that it's almost like, Rabina, whatever's going on in your life at the moment, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, right? Whatever you do, however you move forward, somebody's going to have something to say about it. Somebody's going to kick off. Somebody's going to get butt hurt. Someone's going to have their nose out of joint, right? There's no way around that. All you can do is make the decisions that are best for you right now, okay? And it does feel as if you've got a pretty big decision to make. It really does, because we've got that world card energy coming in. Now, the world is all about stepping through this portal, right? Stepping through and actually entering a different space almost, and like stepping through, making a big decision and actually following it through, right? So this card, this world card, you can imagine this side where the person is in the middle looking at us. This is like a portal, and when you step through that, you go through that little window, you step through that portal, through that frame, there's a whole different world. Now this card is the 21st. So it's actually the 22nd, the last of the major arcana cards, the last of the big shouty cards. This is when your job here is done, right? So whatever this is saying, where you are right now, your job is done, right? Your path is coming to an end where you are right now. It's beginning to get time to, how can I put this, to poop or get off the pot, right? You're beginning to have finished your training. Now you need to go off and do, ride your bike without those training wheels. Basically, these tough decisions, whatever decisions it is that you're in the process of trying to make, whatever it is that you're trying to work out, like, now is the time to do it, right? Now is the time to take that bigger plunge, that bigger step, that bigger jump, and actually try and start your life either over or start your life, start this next chapter. It's really important. The world is a really good card, Rabina, right? Saying that you've got a lot of opportunity. There is a lot of good vibes. There is, like, literally the world is at your fingertips with this. You've got every chance to make things right, to make things happen, to make things the way that you want. This is such a monumentous card, right? It's literally, you've learned everything. Here's your qualification. Now you are now you are a doctor. Go out and save lives. Do you know what I mean? It's like, this is the moment you need to step up. I do think, because this is in what you need to know, I do think that whatever this is, whatever this process is, it feels scary because you've got these swords either side, but it is also something that you are beyond ready for, because in your future opportunity, you've got the 10 of Swords, right? The 10 of Swords reversed is talking about, well, the 10 of Swords this way, you can see this lovely birdie has had all these pins put in it and has leaked all of this fluid. Luckily for YouTube, it's white. Could have been red, do you know what I'm saying? But the soul here, look, the bird's soul is already rising and is going to be reborn in a new egg, right? So this is talking about, you need to leave this past self behind and move into a new one. However, again, it's reversed. So what this is saying is that this process, this decision is not easy, right? It's a bit like, I don't know whether this is saying to look at moving city, moving house to a brand new area and starting over. I don't know whether this is taking that job offer, or, you know, looking for that job that you're gonna have to move to London for, or New York, or Madras, or wherever it is, right? You are gonna have to make this big move. You're gonna be in San Francisco now, you're gonna be in wherever it is, in Beijing. You're going to make that big step for your life, because now is kind of getting to the point where that's what you need to do. Do you know what I mean? Now is the time for you to move forward. I do hope it helps. I do think with this card being in the potential future, this is not linking with this, right? It kind of is, but it isn't. This is not saying that things are going to be really, really, really difficult for you to move forward, right? It's all about these decisions. It's about how you process this step, how you process this next phase of your life, because you're ready for it, right? You are ready right now for this next part of your life. You are absolutely ready for it. Thank you, Melinda. Thank you, Neil. That's lovely. You are ready for it, Rabina. You are absolutely ready to move forward. 150%. You really, really are. You just need to crack on with it now. And it does feel as if whatever these choices are, whatever these decisions are, you're about to enter into a major life learning section, right? This is going to be a major life lesson. I do think it's beneficial. The reason I think it's beneficial is because this world is upright, right? If it was this way round, it's like, oh my God, you're going to have decisions, but they're going to be hard. And not only that, when you make a move, it's going to feel a little bit, this is really positive. The world is one of the most positive cards. So yes, there is good luck coming your way, right? You get to step through and start your life in the way that it's thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Nidhi. You get to start this life in the way that it should be done, right? In the way that your next step is ready for you right now. You've just got to work out how you take that. I hope that helps, my darling. I really, really, really do. It feels very, very positive. It feels very scary because of these two, but it feels very positive. It honestly does. And you know me by now, Rabina. You know that I would not blow smoke up your backside, and I would not tell you that it felt like this was a positive step if for one instance I had a doubt, if I thought there was going to be any major issues in kickback. I think there will be some lessons, and it will be a bit, a little bit rocky as you go, but that's just life. But this is really, really positive. And the thing is, this opportunity, whatever this is that's coming your way, you need to do it. Because this is one of those things where if you don't, this is, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say this is a fork in the road, right? You're currently up here, you're walking up here, and you've now got a choice. The easy road is a path. The path that your life is wanting to go is the path that's going to be more difficult. That's going to take more courage, right? But that is the one that this world card is opening up the world to you. It is literally, yes, it's scary because it's going to be brand new, but my God, is it going to be fun and scary and terrifying and wonderful and everything. It's opening that for you, and you're the only one that can step through. I wish you nothing but the very best of luck, my darling. I genuinely mean that. And whatever this is, listen, in a couple of months' time, when you are in a whole different country, doing a whole different thing, or you're in the same place but you suddenly got a very different job, or you've married someone and got 7 adopted kids, whatever the hell it is. Or that was Snow White, wasn't it, that did that? No, they weren't kids. They were creepy men that lived in a cave, a house. Don't remember. Anyway, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is, this next phase, you've got it, and it will open up things that you can't imagine. Very best of luck, my darling. Thank you very much for the question. I do very much hope that helps. You were just thinking it's a very good reading. It's very, very positive, my darling. Yeah, look, swords are not good, right? When we've got decisions, swords are not good. They're difficult. You get in your own head about it. Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? And it's not an easy thing. It's not like, are you having a pizza or a Chinese for dinner? It's not that, right? It's a difficult life lesson. It's a difficult step, but my God, once you get on your path, are you going to be going for it? With that world card, you've got this. Whatever that is, right? You've got it. Hope it helps. Your life has been challenging and demanding. You hate living in where you live and you want to move out. This is the time, my darling. Listen, make it happen. If that is what that world card means, make it happen, because this is the opportunity. This is the moment. This is the hour. Ours is the something. Ours is the power, right? But this is the opportunity. I once, right, when I was 20, I was offered a job, right, in the city that I grew up in the town I grew up in, at the day theatre, because I thought I wanted to go into nursing. And I was offered a job, and it was part of this program where they would pay me to work in the hospital as a trainee nurse, or whatever, HCA, whatever the equivalent was, whilst I was at college 3 days a week, and I'd spend 2 days a week working in the hospital, which I would get paid for. And whilst I was there, because it was day theatre, it would mean no late nights, some early starts, but no late nights. And I would be in the second year, not the first year, but in the second year, I would be either assisting or in minor operations, minor surgeries. And, it was an amazing opportunity, a situation where I would have got my nursing degree, and I would have got it with practical experience. I would have ended up, it would have taken a year longer than if I'd just gone to college, but I would have ended up coming out of my education in a much higher, much more experienced position to go straight into that workplace. And because I was already working there, it was absolutely amazing. However, it would have meant signing on to stay in that city that I grew up in for 5 years. And I hated it. I hated it so much. All I could think of was moving away. And at the same time, my friend, one of my best friends at the time, was getting a divorce. And randomly she said, "Oh, my sister lives up in Castleford, which is just outside of Leeds. I think I'm moving. In fact, I'm moving. And I've got my divorce settlement, and I'm going to buy a house because it's really cheap. So I'm moving." And I basically said, "Have you got room in your van?" And she was like, "For what?" I said, "Some of my stuff." She went, "Yes." And I said, "Okay, I'm coming with you. I don't want to live with you. I will find a house in Leeds, but I'm going to move to Leeds." And it was just a spur of the moment thing. And I have never looked back. And it's this feels like, again, it might not be that spur of the moment for you, but that was my moment of cards like this, a really tough decision, a really good opportunity that I was turning down. There's another universe somewhere, parallel universe, where the other me took that job and is probably extremely high up in the nursing or medical field right now, doing an incredible job, doing incredible things. However, I followed my life and I moved, and I've had all of my life experience, met all of my friends. Literally the people that I have in my life now, I have because of that dislike for my hometown and that sudden opportunity. I would not have done it had my friend not said, that's it, when the divorce comes through, I'm buying a house and I'm off. I would not have done it if it wasn't for that. So this is that moment for you, my darling. You'll know it when it comes, and you'll get that opportunity. You just need to work out, okay, how do you get out of where you are? Where are you going and what are you going to do? I moved to Leeds. I didn't have a job. I didn't have any savings. And when I got here, I literally went and signed on for the first temp agency job. And I did every crappy, nasty old job until I could find something to get myself sorted. And I did the nasty, horrible, back-breaking, 4 a.m, all of those nasty, horrible jobs that people don't want to do. And I did those because it was what I needed to do to pay for my rent and pay for my food and my bills until I was able to get a job in the pub sector, which is what I went into for, you know, up until 5 years ago. So I hope, my darling, I hope that me telling you that says that you've got this, you can do it as well, right? It doesn't work for everyone, but I always say, right, what's the worst thing that can happen, Rabina? The worst thing that can happen is that you move, you find out it wasn't right for you, and then do you know what happens then? You move back. Do you know what I mean? Big deal. You move back. That's it. What's the worst thing that can possibly happen? You move back to the place that you've left. You've still got your family, your friends, your contacts there, and you move back. That's no big deal. So anyway, I hope that helps, my darling. I really hope that helps. You're going to follow your heart. Do it. It's your choice, your decision. But listen, as I've always said as well, I do not in any way, shape or form want to be in that nursing home with regrets. I want to be in that nursing home telling the stories of when I got drunk with the cheeky girls, or when this happened or that happened, when, you know, all of these encounters and experiences I've had in my life. That's what I want to be doing. I don't want to be ever sat there going, oh, I could have done this, but I was scared. Now, again, that's my choice in life. That's how I see life. Everybody else has to do their own way, but I hope that helps. Right then, I've got a super chat in from Nidhi. Best of luck, Rabina. Best of luck to you, my love. And wherever you end up, make sure you keep popping in and saying hello to us. Nidhi, you've sent a donation of 20 something. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure how that equates in terms of the amount, but let me have a look. Whoa, this is a complicated question. Is flat number 504 right? Please, I'm going to take this one off screen. Hang on. If I take that off and put it on here. No, hang on. Oh, hold on. There we go. I'll take that off screen like that because, my darling, there's a lot of personal information here. Please don't put that amount of personal information in the chat, because you are giving away your full name, your birth date, and where you might end up living. Be very careful, my darling. Be very careful doing that. Somebody could literally steal your identity with that amount of information. Please be very, very careful. But is this property a positive energy for you and your business life? I will have a look. I will have a look. Give me give me 30 seconds, my darling, and I'm going to try and make sure that I can pull this question up on my other screen without pulling it up without putting it on screen, if that makes sense. I can pull it up and so I can see it without everybody else seeing it. That's what I'm trying to say. Right, let me just take that off. Right, give me 30 seconds. I'll get that bit sorted. I don't want to be fiddling and it keep popping up and down on screen. So, right, give me a second.
Join the Crow Collective. Help to support this channel by becoming a member here on YouTube. From £2.99 per month, you will gain access to members-only perks, live streams, competitions, sneak peeks and more. Just click on Join for more information. Thank you to all our members.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. I was just saying. Yes, thank you. I was just saying, can one of the mods just delete that from the chat, please? I've got it in the on the mod chat. So if one of the mods can delete that question, so it's not in the chat for the replay crew. Because, Niddy, be very careful. There are so many scammers out there, my darling. Please, please, please be careful for that. Patricia's very kindly posted it into the mod chat so I can see it. Right then, so Wispy, let's go. We're going to do your cleansing. I'm going to bring in Wispy. So it's a three card question reading. So Wispy, Niddy would like to know. Is the flat? Does the flat that they're looking at have positive energy, and is it good for their personal and professional life? Okay, is it good for their personal and professional life? We've got a card jump and flip. So if you're new here, when that happens, we call it a clarifying or modifying card, because it literally clarifies or modifies the cards that we're about to pull. So this card is a major arcana. It is the Star. Now, for me, the Star is all about wishful thinking, right? Other tarot readers and other interpretations are out there. How I interpret the cards is what they have come to mean for me over the years. So with the Star being wishful thinking, there's a little bit about having a foot in two camps, right? So it's almost like being uncertain and not, if I say not going into things wholeheartedly, Niddy, I think you'll get what I'm saying, right? Because you can see the person's got 1 foot on the land, 1 foot in the water. This jug's in water, this jug's on land, right? A little bit half and half, not going in with both feet, not diving in. There's the thing about the Star. When I say wishful thinking, we think about wishing on a star, but a wish is nothing. A wish on its own is nothing. Blowing on an eyelash and making a wish, wishing on a star, wishing when you blow a dandelion clock, all of that, it doesn't really mean anything. Throwing a coin in a fountain, it doesn't really mean anything. It's great if you think, I've got 1 coin left. This is my last pound. It's my last gold sovereign. It's my last whatever. I am going to throw my very last coin in the fountain, make a wish for success, and then I'm going to go home and work myself to the bone to get that success. Wishing works if you use it as a goal setting device, right? You set it as a goal, you set it as something you want to aim towards, you want to make happen, and you follow that. Just wishing, you're not going in wholeheartedly, you're not going in with both feet, you're you're almost trying to play it safe, right? And the thing about wishes do come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. No, wishes don't come true unless there is something else there, right? Unless there is something else there. If it's raining and you say, oh, I wish it wasn't raining, but it is, I guess I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna go and sit in the garden today. I'll just sit in the lounge and watch a lovely video or read a book in the lounge. Has it changed the weather? I wish it wasn't raining today. No, it hasn't. I wish I had a lovely, it's a really sunny day. I wish I had a really lovely sun patio, but I don't. No, you don't. But if that is your goal, then what you need to do is work really hard, get some money, or get some tools, get some wood, get some cement, whatever it is, and build it, or pay someone to build it, so that the next time it's a really sunny day, you've got that sun patio. Do you know what I mean? A wishing on its own is not going to get you anywhere. So that is the first thing that this card is telling us, right? So when you're talking about moving into this property, it doesn't feel as if you're committed. It doesn't feel as if you're committed, right? And it feels like you're we would say half-arsing it, but you're a bit half-hearted about it, right? You're a little bit unsure. So let's see what we're looking at with the energy of this flat wispy. There we go. We finally got a drop. It was a bit uncertain for a while. So then let's have a look. So we go with where you are now. King of Wands reversed. Red flags. Oh, I would not. Eight of Cups and the King of Pentacles reversed. No. Nope. Nope, this one's not for you. Not for you. So, reason I'm saying that, where you are right now, King of Wands, right? Wands is all about self-esteem, confidence, how you see yourself, all of that lovely stuff. The King can be quite arrogant, right? Overly confident, leaning into arrogance. But this is reversed. This red flag is reversed. So this isn't arrogance because you know this is going to make you, this is going to work. You know this is going to be great. You know this is going to be wonderful. No, this is, you are ignoring all the red flags. All the red flags. Oh, I wish it would be okay. No. You've got the paperwork, right? The paperwork says this property burnt down 7 times in the last year. Or whatever. This property has mass flooding, is on a floodplain, has no flood defences, and is right next to a river that last year rose, 3 inches in a season. Oh, it's not going to flood. It'll be fine. No, you are ignoring red flags. And I'm not saying that is what's going to happen, but you are ignoring some red flags about this. And it's almost like you're being told, you're giving signs, you're being given things. It's like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. I've got, all of these things are coming up and telling me, no, don't go and do this, don't go and do it. And yet you're still going ahead, right? It's like that little voice in the back of your head is saying, this isn't right. This doesn't feel right. The fact that you're asking this question means there is doubt here as to what this property is going to be like. These red flags you have completely, it's like you've gone, oh, but it's really cheap. There is a reason it's really cheap, or there is a reason it's still available. There is a reason this flat has come up the way it's come up, right? If it looks too good to be true in life, generally it is. Do you know what I mean? If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and has feathers like a duck, chances are it's a duck. No matter how many people tell you it's a friggin' swan. Do you know what I mean? So, be aware of that red flag. Then, in the what you need to know, we've got the 8 of Cups. 8s, I've already said earlier, are all about the journey to the 9. Cups is all about following your heart. This is what you need to know. This is saying you have followed your heart with this, but in so doing, I think you've ignored your head self. You've ignored your own advice. You've almost, literally, so the story of this card, as you can see, this is inside somebody's house. All the drips are happening. So it's just drip, 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 right? All of that is happening. They've put all these pots in to catch all these drips, right? I'm not saying that your roof is going to leak, or that upstairs, if it's a block of flats or whatever, that the upstairs one's going to have a leak and the bath's going to overrun and it's going to come through your ceiling. That's what happened to us. But this property, this card, you can see these drops, right? But it's not raining outside. So it's not a leaky roof. This is a problem with the property. And yet you've got the door open. You're already about to go walking off up here and just leave it. It'll be fine. I'm just going to go for a little walk towards the 9 of Cups. It'll be fine. Honest, it'll be all right. I've made a wish. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Do you know what I mean? It feels like, again, you've almost... There's been doubts, there's been questions, you've gone, I'm not sure. And yet, instead of listening to that, you've gone ahead. You've ignored those warnings. You've ignored that element of something doesn't feel quite right. And you've done it anyway. It's going to cost you money. The King of Pentacles is all about this card is literally the king is in his counting house, counting all his money, right? The King of Pentacles, that same king energy, that same authoritative energy. And this is all about money. If it's this way, how much money can the king get? How much money can the king save? How much money can the king make? Money, 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 mine. This way, the money is going out. So this is going to cost money. So if you've I don't know, it could be that you've signed a contract that says, yay, this property I'm going to buy for £100,000, for instance, right? And then you get there and you realise, oh, it's £100,000 plus VAT plus stamp duty plus tax plus yearly thingy. What do they do on flats now? Not maintenance. The people that have to go around and maintenance. I think it's maintenance. Yeah, yearly maintenance costs plus a yearly upkeep plus communal flat cleaning. Communal like lifts and porches. So actually, in the first year, it's going to cost you 220,000, even though it was only 100 when you looked at it. Do you know what I mean? There is something here. Money is going to be leaving rapidly because of this property. And to be brutally honest with you, Nidhi, I don't think there's going to be an awful lot you can do about it. This is going to be one of those situations where, like, if you've bought the flat, how many energy good for your business and professional life? If you've bought the flat, you don't say whether you bought it or not. If you've bought it, I think you need to get rid ASAP. You will make a loss, but again, this is all for entertainment purposes only. You make your own decisions. But if it was me, I'd be like, I need to get a survey done, a proper surveyor's report. I need to have a look at this. Maybe I've not done as much research as I should have done. If it's somewhere you've agreed to rent, make the most of it for, hopefully you've only got a 6-month contract, but make the most of it for the time that you are there, and then get the hell out of there if you can. This does not feel very well suited at all. And it's not to do with your birth date or anything like that. I don't use those. I don't use astrological images, but this does very much feel, my friend, like there's something here that you need to try and pull out of if you can. Again, it's your own life. You make the decisions. It may be for you that actually you're sat there going, Lisa, you're talking absolute nonsense. Oh my God, this is the most amazing deal. This is the most amazing opportunity. And it may well be, if this is all going ahead, right? It might be something that for 6 months you're able to move into and then move on from, right? If you've signed and it's all a done deal, then it may well be, if you cancel it, there may be forfeitures and things like that. It may well be that you've got to live there for 6 months and then off you go, right? And if that's the case, the minute you move in, I personally wouldn't bother unpacking an awful lot of stuff, and what I would be doing is looking instantly at where in 6 months, where is going to be available, where can I move? Okay, 6 months time is putting us at, what are we now, 4, so 10, so that'll be putting us at like almost end of October, beginning of November. Where can I move in November time? Where will be available? That will move me forward. Do you know what I mean? I'm sorry this wasn't a far more positive reading. Both of these kings are telling me it's a decision, a decision that is going to bite you on the bum, unfortunately. I do think that you're probably going to have to suffer it for 6 months. I think that's what this card is really saying. And again, this wishing card that came up initially, I do think this is those regrets, but this may be the only way the universe can get you to realize not to jump into situations like this. And this 6 months of hell, or this 6 months of expense, or this 6 months of uncertainty that you're going to be going through by living there, it may be fine, right? Let's be honest, right? Let me just, it may be fine. You may move in and it might be no problem at all, and there'll be a few little nigglies, but they'll be absolutely fine, and you can just carry on and things will be great for 6 months, right? If that's what happens, very best of luck to you, right? It may well be though that things do start to go wrong in other areas, but for 6 months you can probably deal with it until you're able to move forward. Does that make sense? If you signed for a year, then again, it's going to be a bit of a difficult time, but it can always get better later. And if this is the way the universe teaches you, listen, you need to read the small print, you need to do this, you need to do that. At least if it's something you can get out of in a year's time. If you bought the place, I think get a surveyor's report ASAP. If it's just rented, look at that get out clause. You know, if you leave early, what will you get? How much will you have to pay? If you if there are added costs, do all of that research now and start looking for a place in 6 months or a year's time, and just use this as a stopgap, right? It's just going to be a stopgap. I wouldn't necessarily and if it is just going to be a year, then you don't want that to be your business address, because then it's got to change in 6 months or a year's time. Do you know what I mean? So in terms of business, maybe keep your business separate, your official address, official postage, get a PO box instead of using this as your address. Do you know, all of those things? Maybe look at all of that. But in all honesty, I think you're going to be stuck with it for now. I don't think there's, just by looking at the King of Pentacles, I don't think you're going to be able to maybe get out of whatever you've signed or whatever the situation is. But make the best of it while you can, you know. And again, listen, there is every chance, right? Now you've had this warning, there is every chance that as long as you think of this place as a temporary move before you find a better place, you'll be looking for that better place now. You'll be double checking the contracts, double checking the area, double checking the, let's have a look in the local news. Was 15 people ever murdered in this flat, or whatever it is? You'll be checking all of that now. So your next property will be, you'll feel really confident about. And at the end of the day, a year or 6 months, depending on what you've signed, isn't that long a time. Do you know what I mean? You'll be fine living there. It's just, you might have to pay a lot more money than you were expecting, or you might have to be ringing the landlords every other week going, the ceiling fell out, the door fell out, the window on the upstairs floor fell out, can you come and fix the floor because the floor is falling out, the walls are falling down now. Do you know what I mean? You might have to be doing that all the time. But anyway, I hope that helps. Thank you very much for your question. Let's have a look in that there chat. Hang on a second, I need to do that one there on screen. Is that going to be an on-screen chat box? So if I bring that across there, hopefully now when I click on these, what have we got? Maintenance issues are going to cost more than you realize. Absolutely, I agree. I agree. Where's the... You've already done a rent agreement on that flat. You're moving on the 7th of April. Listen, right? At the end of the day, a rent agreement, okay, that's great. That's fine, right? If you've signed it, you've signed it. You're going to be stuck there, right? I wouldn't try and get out of it now. Chances are, with a week's notice, they will charge you at least your month's deposit and first month's rent or something as a cancellation fee. It feels like you're going to have to be there and just deal with it. I don't think you're going to be able to, my friend. I really don't think you're going to be able to. You're planning to be there for 6 months if you can't get it cancelled. Listen, 6 months isn't that long a time, right? 6 months isn't that long a time. You will move to another flat in November. Yeah, 6 months isn't that long, my friend. 6 months isn't that long. As I say, move in, think of it as a lesson. Yeah, I agree. The experience will stand you in good stead and maybe in the good long term. Yeah, listen, we've all got those stories. We've all got those stories of places that we've lived where we were young or we were poor and we needed somewhere that was cheap and, you know, whatever, or things happened at the last minute. And I used to run a pub, and the person that owned the pub decided not to pay the brewery any money. So I turned that pub around. It was a failing pub. After 3 months being in there, we were doing great numbers. The money wasn't amazing, but it was more than covering its costs, and actually was looking better each and every single week. It was on the up. But unfortunately, the guy who owned it took all the money that we made in that pub and put it into his own nightclub and didn't pay the brewery a single penny. So unbeknownst to me, we were behind in rent, we were behind in bills, we were behind in beer payments, and I didn't know any of that. And then until one day the police and bailiffs and the brewery turned up and basically kicked us out and changed the locks, and I lost everything that I couldn't carry there and then. It all just went. And I had to restart, and I have never made that mistake ever again in my life. So there will always be, may well be that story that you tell people in 3, 4, 20 years time, right? Try to gather the facts and learn about the practical reasons why the flat wouldn't work out. Research the criteria that will matter to you and go from there. Exactly. And listen, it may well be that this is really close to your place of work, but it's really close to a train track, and every time the train goes by, it rattles you like this, right? Fine. If that's what happens, that's what happens. That's what happens. Don't worry about it. Just take this 6 months as a learning curve. I wouldn't necessarily move your business there if you can help it. And I wouldn't necessarily think of it as being long term, but for 6 months, it's fine. Do you know what I mean? Whatever the issues are, it'll be fine. I hope that helps, my darling. Thank you ever so much for your question. Jessica90, hello, my darling. Thank you so much for providing your valuable suggestion, dear Patricia. Let me see how I can come out of this mess which I created for me. Listen, in all honesty, that King of Pentacles, I don't think you're probably not going to be able to get out of it. So make the most of it, right? Think of it as a bit of fun. Get a journal, catalogue all the things that happen, right? Make sure you've got a note of every silly little thing that happens. Oh, the kitchen cupboard fell off and that fell into the sink and that cracked the sink and that did this and that did that. And make a note of it, because in 10, 15, 20, 30 years time, when you are hopefully, you know, rich enough to never have to be in this situation, and you've got your own 5 houses and you are telling stories one day around your pool party with your, you know, staff that are waiting on you hand and foot, at that point you'll be able to go, oh, let me tell you a story. Back in 2025, I once lived in this flat and this is what happened. You'll be able to do all of that, right? Make the most of it. I don't get the impression that it's going to be horrendous. It's not going to be good, but it's not going to be like, I don't think you're in any major danger. I just think you're going to end up paying a lot more money than you probably expect. But anyway, Best of luck to you, Nidhi, my darling. Let us know how things go. Best of luck with the move. Moving itself can be incredibly stressful. So I hope that you have as easy a time moving in as possible. Right then, everybody. It is that time. We've blown the air horn. We have triggered another round, which means this is your chance to get your question in. Go ahead, pop your question to the live chat, starting with the word question. One of those will get selected at random. If, however, like Nidhi, you want to guarantee that you get a reading up next, you can do so by sending a super chat of any amount. That will come through and nick that next available slot. Okay. If, however, if you want to make sure that you get a longer reading, a lot more detail and a lot more precise and looking at more roots and things like that, if you send it through as a super chat of at least $10 or £8 or above, that will get you a longer reading. Don't forget, every single donation, once YouTube takes its 30% off the top, whatever's left, 10% gets donated to the PDSA in the UK, which is the People's Dispensary for Sick Animals, animal hospital charity that we support, and another 10% goes to our local homeless shelter, which is called St George's Crypt here in Leeds. So just by donating for a tarot reading, you are also helping us to do good. The rest of it gets ploughed back into the channel with cameras and lighting and things like that, so and editing software. So hopefully that makes sense. Anyhow, go ahead, pop your questions in now, whichever way you choose. You've got 30 seconds with a little video. Where are we going this time? Oh, we're going to a tree. Indeed, and please don't forget our mods are in the live chat. Their names are in blue and there's a little spanner next to their names. If you're wondering why some people have what looks to be a takeaway coffee cup in there next to their names, those people are our channel members, and our channel membership starts at $2.99 or £5 a month. You get a weekly live stream from 6 o'clock in the UK till 7 every Sunday. I also do random ones, normally at least once a month. I'll throw in a random one on a Friday night or wherever, which go however long they go. The members only lives, we do tarot readings for members if they want them. Today we were talking about ghostly experiences, and you know, have you ever woken up and you feel like someone's kissed your forehead, or all of that we were talking about today. Very, very fascinating. We've had live streams where we talk about witchcrafty elements. We've had live streams where I've sat there and done somebody a 40-minute tarot reading. It all varies, and that is whatever happens on the lives is completely down to the members that are there. So if you would like to join our membership, somewhere here there is a join button. I think it's where you send your messages. There's like a pound, I think it's a pound note. There's a money sign anyway. I think it's there, or there's a button that says join. I don't really know because YouTube keeps changing it. On that, by the way, thank you. The next person is Jessica90. If you are not Jessica90, please hold your question, select and copy your question and get ready for the next round, because I will... hang on a second. Why is that not coming up on screen now? Where is my question gone? Oh, it's disappeared. What was I saying? Yes, YouTube. YouTube has sent me a notification. They are putting in adverts in the middle of videos. So if you watch any of the videos on my channel, I put as few adverts in as I can. There's normally one at the beginning, one at the end, and there might be one somewhere in the middle. YouTube is now putting in what they call mid-roll adverts where they feel it's right for people. So if you see that there's an awful lot more adverts on the channel, please just understand that it's not anything that I am doing manually. It's not something I am adding in. YouTube is putting those many more advert blocks on everybody's videos. So please just, you know, I'm trying to keep that as balanced as I possibly can, but YouTube is wanting to bung adverts on, and it's their platform. So then let me have a look and just double check as to why I cannot get the on-screen chat box up. Give me a second. Give me a reason to love. Yay, I got it. There we go. Yay, fabulous. Right then, so Jessica 90, I'm going to go ahead and swap the camera position over, and we'll go ahead and do the usuals. By the way, can you do the usual YouTubey things as well? Hit the like button and hit the subscribe button and ding your bell so that YouTube knows to notify you. We're just going to cleanse the space for Jessica. Oh gosh, I dropped it. I dropped my bell. Don't do that. Did I damage my crystals? No, I'm fine. I thought I dropped it on top of my dragon crystals. Then that would have been a nightmare, wouldn't it? Right then, Wispy. Good evening, my darling Wispy. We have a. No, hold on. Hold on. We have a reading for Jessica. Bear with me. I don't know what is happening with the messages. Melinda, thank you ever so much. I've just seen your super chat come up. Thank you very much for that. I don't know why this has just happened, but I will fix. I can fix. Oh gosh, I'm quoting vampires now. Oh, flaming Nora, what is going on today? There we go. Right then, there we go. Hurrah. Right then, so thank you Patricia. Right then, so Jessica Wispy, let's get Jessica's reading on the go. So Jessica, is traveling a good decision for you to start a new life elsewhere? Can I be really pedantic? If you're going to start a new life elsewhere, you got to travel. Otherwise, you're just starting a new life where you are, which is fine. You can always do that. But if you want to start a new life elsewhere, you got to go elsewhere to start that new life. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Anyway, I know, right? Oh gosh, did I just put those in the wrong way round? Yes, I flipping did. You can tell that I'm trying to do 15 things at once. Right then, let me try that again, Wispy. Wispy, we're going to shuffle again. So then, Jessica, let's have a look. Woo! Is travelling a good decision for Jessica, Wispy? Is travelling a good decision? Jessica wants to start a new life somewhere else. Is it a good idea? Let's have a wee look. Melinda, your reading is going to be up next. Here we go. So the Six of Swords. This is where you are, my darling. So, swords is trouble and strife. These are the lessons that life teaches us, the hurdles, the challenges. Sixes are about the people around you, the community around you. So it does feel as if, now, there is a little bit of element here. It does feel as if there is a lot of stress around you right now. However, look at this boat. Look at this boat. You're taking the stresses with you. You're taking the swords with you. Oh, they look like nails, right? But you're taking these swords with you, my darling. And we've got a deep, dark, coloured body of water. Wherever you see bodies of water in tarot, we're dealing with emotions. So this is telling me, my darling, that you want to start a new life, but it feels like you want to run away from the life you have now. Okay? That doesn't normally work. That doesn't normally work. Normally, the best way for a new start, the best way to start over is to deal with the shit you've got on now. Do you know what I mean? Deal with the mess or the tough situation that you're in now before you're able to move forward. Now, you can make a new start. You can move somewhere else, but you've got to do the emotional healing, the physical healing sometimes, the you've got to maybe heal internally, emotionally, from whatever these issues are. Does that make sense to you? I recommend counselling for every single person on the planet. I think we all need more therapy than we get. We need more counselling, more of a listening ear than we ever get. So I always recommend that, full stop. So this is not medical advice, counselling advice or anything like that. But it does feel, this card is literally saying, wherever you go, those same issues are going to go with you. It might not be the same people, might not be exactly the same problems, but the root cause of that is going to go with you. So it could be, for instance, let's say that where you are right now, your neighbours really hate you, right? You really hate them, they really hate you, you don't get on, you want to move somewhere else. However, what you might not be considering is that in your front garden there is a clapped out, rusted old motor car. There is dog feces everywhere because your dogs just poop everywhere and you don't pick it up because you're too lazy. There's some used nappies in the front garden. In the back garden, it's all been dug up by the dogs, and it's all like they get under the fence at both neighbours' sides. They go in both sides. Maybe you like a party of an evening time that goes on a bit late. A few people come round and drinking. Occasionally you have an argument with someone, a window gets smashed or a fence gets broken. Christmas time, well, my auntie came round and she's always a bit worse for wear, and she broke into the window because she couldn't get in through the door, so she smashed the window, and then the police came that time. And then there was we never really put a bin out because I always forget what day it is, so then I put the bin out a day late and the rubbish sits there and the kids knock it in the street. And I'm not saying you're doing any of that, right? But in that moment, you move to a new area, right? You move to a brand new house, brand new neighbours, brand new everything, but you don't change any of those patterns. So, right, you haven't got the same rusted motor car in the front. This time there's a motorbike. And it takes a little while before the dog poo pile builds up. And now the baby's not in nappies, so that's fine. But instead of it being nappies out that you throw out, now it's all the baby stuff that they're growing out of. So there's an old pram that gets thrown in the front. And of course, the dogs aren't going to dig up under these fences. Absolutely not, until they do. And all right, this fence isn't broken yet, but the same aunt comes over the same Christmas time and doesn't break in just yet, but they did puke in your neighbour's front garden. And now you're having parties that go on a little bit later than they were before because the baby stays at your mum's sometimes, or your friend that babysits. So you're still having those parties, and eventually your new neighbours hate you just as much as the old neighbours do. But you're sat there going, I don't understand why everybody hates me. And I am not at all saying that this is what's going on. But if that pattern, whatever the pattern is, doesn't change, then the same set of circumstances are going to happen somewhere else, just in a different house, a different city, a different wherever. Do you know what I mean? Right? So sometimes you've got to look at dealing with that underlying stuff, the causes of that unhappiness. And again, I know a lot of people that want to start over, start a brand new life in a brand new area, and that maybe because they've had a really tough set of circumstances where they were, maybe they've had some horrible things happen to them in their life, and whilst that same set of circumstances might not happen again, the repercussions of that, the damage of that, needs to be sorted through and healed. Otherwise you're just taking those emotional scars to a new place, and those emotional scars are still going to be there. You're just now feeling all of that emotional harm and that fallout. You're now feeling it again in a new city, in a new house, with a new landscape when you look out the window. Do you know what I mean? So this is saying that whatever it is that you are moving from, you need to look at what those reasons are to make sure you're not just transplanting those issues from where you are now to where you move to. Does that make sense, my darling? And again, I'm not saying that that's at all that you are the root cause of any of this, but what I'm saying is if For instance, if you've been in a really difficult relationship that was really controlling and you haven't dealt with that, then maybe your next relationship may follow similar lines because you haven't dealt with that root cause from the previous relationship. Do you know what I mean? If you, for example, I once lived next door to a takeaway. I did it at a time where I would order multiple times, sometimes multiple times for multiple takeaways in the same day because my eating was very disordered. And living next door to a takeaway, you might think, I thought, well, I'm not going to do that here because they are my neighbours. They will be able to see, and I will feel ashamed when I walk past them in the street, right? So that can't possibly happen if I live next door to the takeaway. Except, of course, it did because I didn't care. So I just moved those issues with me and didn't address them until years later. So just bear that in mind, okay? Sometimes when we want a new start, we have to start over from inside first. Now, in what you need to know, we've got the Page of Wands. Wands is all about your self-esteem, your self-image, self-confidence, things like that. The Pages are the very youngest characters in the court cards. Okay, so the Page is very naive, very innocent energy, and this Page is reversed. Now what this is telling me, Jessica, is either I don't know whether you're relatively young, or if you are getting out of a difficult situation and you are wanting that new start, that refresh, but you don't quite know how to do it, because again, this card would come up for somebody that might not have dealt with the gremlins, might not have dealt with the emotional scarring, or might not have dealt with that lack of confidence and that way of framing. And I'm not at all saying that anybody who has been in difficult relationships or difficult situations puts themselves there. I'm not at all saying that. Sometimes if we don't feel that we love ourselves and we don't feel we are worthy of love and healthy relationships, sometimes we can put ourselves in very difficult situations and not care enough about ourselves, if you like, and not feel confident about asking for a healthy relationship, or feel confident that we deserve a healthy relationship or a healthy work life, or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes we feel so down on ourselves that any attention is better than no attention, even if that attention we know deep down isn't good for us. So yeah, again, with this Page of Wands, it really does feel as if there is something here that you are not really wanting to address, or not feeling that you're confident enough to address at the moment. And that might be fine, right? We don't all go through our lives doing deep, dark, delves into our psyche, unpicking our emotional habits and problems every single day of our lives. We don't. And sometimes we need to get into a clear space with some clear thinking for us to be able to reset. But again, I know personally, from personal experience and from experience of friends, family and loved ones, and some of the stories that the members and subscribers have shared on here, that a lot of times if we change our location and that's the only thing that changes, the situation kind of repeats itself in some way. The outcome, or the future opportunity card here, we've got the Knight of Pentacles. So this is slightly more mature energy than the Page. And I'm not saying the Page is immature, but it's very young. But the Knights are teenage energy. So this is rebellious energy. And this is coming in under the work, career, finance sort of element. And this is suggesting that a move without planning things, without putting in that work and that effort, excuse me, that move might be might be leaping over the wall before you look, right? And you don't know what's on that other side. Let me put it that way. It almost feels like it's a knee-jerk reaction, hoping that things will be better without doing any of the work to make sure that things are better. And this feels, the fact that it's reversed is saying that either you're not ready to do that effort or that work at the moment, which is perfectly fine. You don't have to do that work right now. Sometimes we're unable to do that healthy healing work, or it may be that financially you're not in that position and it might backfire on you that way. What I would say, my darling, is that all three of these cards are suggesting that that a move right now is perhaps just going to repeat that cycle without putting in the work, or without getting the support. That's what, thank you, Wispy, that's what I'm trying to say, right? It feels like you need to find the support that will help you if you do move location, not just to reset that cycle. So, you know, if for instance that example with the neighbours, right, it might not be Mrs. Jones next door, it might be Mr. Smith, but it's the same issue. And on the other side, it might not be, you know, Mr. Pink, it might be Mrs. Green, but that's the same issue. Do you know what I mean? Different faces, different examples, but the same underlying issue. I hope that helps, my darling. Once again, I've got to say, I'm really sorry. I know it probably isn't the way the reading you were hoping for, but as I always say, I can only give you the readings that the cards give me, and this is just saying that I think you probably would benefit from some support, maybe some counselling support, or some kind of support in dealing with whatever the reason is for you to want to start a new life now. Do you know what I mean? Get that work in place, because then it may well be that actually where you are, you're able to start a new life, or it might be that actually you want to go to the other end of the world and start a new life. But if you're going to go somewhere that big, and this is going to be such a monumental refresh or restart, then you want to make sure that you go in the best possible mind frame for it to be a success for you. Otherwise, you could well end up, you know, living in Sydney, Australia, and yet you're having the same problem with the neighbours and you're having the same patterns. Does that make sense, my darling? I hope that helps. I really, really hope that helps. I do wish you the very, very best, my darling, and I do hope that this reading has helped in some way. As I say, I can only give you the readings that the cards give me, but thank you ever so much for your question, and I do really hope that helps. Good evening, Code Deb. Hello, my love. I've just seen your name pop up in the chat. You want to travel somewhere, perhaps to Tokyo, to escape the burdens and toxic people in your life and embrace a fresh start. You feel trapped in a rut and crave a completely new experience. But listen, I have learnt this over the years, right? It may well be a different face, but it'll be the same person, the same toxic people, right? Someone with a different face, different body, different everything. But if you're not dealing with if you're not dealing with that bit of you that allows that toxic person in your life, it may not be Mrs. Jones, as I say, it may be Mr. Smith, but it's the same archetype. It's the same sort of person. Do you know what I mean? The same toxic energy that you're allowing in. And so for that reason, that's what I think, my darling, that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I think you need to work with. Good evening, Nanette. Hello, my darling. Good evening to you. I've just seen you in the chat. Code Deb, I've got one more question in now. Lately, you've been feeling insecure about yourself. You know you have potential, but your self-esteem holds you back. Then listen, that you need to work on that. You need to work on that. Otherwise, that will go with you. And it will go with you for the next... You could move to a different city, a different country, a different planet. And that will go with you unless you sort that out, my darling. In all honesty, that is something that only you can sort, and you need to make that shift yourself. I recommend counselling. I recommend self-love. I recommend all of those things. I really, really, really do. Thank you, Code Deb. I know, right? This camera now is now a 4K, whatever that means, camera. I think isn't that a breakfast? Kellogg's 4K or something. I think it's a breakfast. But we've got a breakfast cereal box for a camera now, or something. And yeah. And now we've got the other camera, and it's all super duper. Right then, good evening, Ed. Ed's here properly. Hello, my darling. I hope you are well. Right, Melinda. Let's find Melinda's question. It aided you to change your perspective, and you wouldn't be here to tell the tale. This is it. See, there's such a wise community here. I love this community so much. Where is Melinda's question? Yay, I've got it. Thank you very much. Will your new garden be successful and abundant in produce? Oh, I hope so. Have you got plenty of have you got plenty of shit? Have you got plenty of horse poo? Because that's a big thing, isn't it? Supposedly that's a big thing. Right, Wispy, last question, my darling. If you got lots of horse poo, I mean, I know I talk a lot of horse poo, but, you know, or bull poo. But if you've got lots of horse poo, that's really good. So if you know anyone near you that's got horses, or if you know anyone not near you that's got horses, they've probably got horses they can probably ride to you, then yay. You go and do that thing, and then they can poo on your lawn or something. Right, but let's see what Wispy has to say. Wispy! And in fact, I'll tell you what, we're going to invite... I don't do it very often. We're going to invite Tank as well. Tank, my friend, where's your sound effect? Hang on, there we go. Tank, you are... Yay! Good evening, my friend. You are our green dragon, Tank. You are our earth dragon. So with you and Wispy for the Akashic Records, Wispy is the air elemental, and Tank for that earth energy that we bring with Tank. So if you don't know, I've got dragons. I'll put the link in the chat again. There you are. The link is in the chat, so do please go and have a look at that podcast episode. I have Egregore Servitors Tulpas. Who knows what they are? Go and watch the episode to find out. And Tank is our earth dragon. So between the two of you, my friends, I've got to say, I love when Tank joins us, because Tank's energy is like an old grumpy old soldier. Well, it is, my friend. It's a grumpy old soldier with a cigar, right? But who is a medic, a field medic. So if you can imagine, right, someone who is just going, we haven't got time to sterilize. I'll use my cigar to cauterize the wound. And it's that sort of vibe, right? It's rough and ready, but it will get the things done that need to be done. That is the energy that Tank brings. But Tank is very much old soldier type energy, but is also very good at the healing and earth related questions. So Tank and Wispy, will Melinda's new garden be successful and abundant in produce? Successful and abundant are the key words. Basically, you want me to pull up the Empress, don't you? That's what you want. That is what you want, Melinda. Let's see where you are now, my darling. Ooh, 10 of Wands reversed. What you need to know. The Chariot reversed, and what the opportunity is, the 7 of Wands reversed. So all of these are reversed. So there's a little bit of trickery, pokery, buggery, or whatever going on with these cards. So the 10 of Wands, 10s, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? You know what I'm going to say, Melinda. The 10 of Wands, 10s are all about excess. The 9 is full, the 10 overflows. Wands is all about confidence. This is a massive warning not to be overconfident, because look, you get nice and confident, you build this massive pile of logs and all these lovely wooden branches and all these wands, and you've taken ages to cut, and you leave them all stacked nicely in the corner, and then what happens? They go and set it on fire and become a bonfire, right? So this card is literally saying, look, do not be too ambitious. Do not be too cocksure. Do not be too arrogant, right? When it comes to this garden, you need to be able to look at it as an ongoing project. So if this is year 1, what can you actually manage in year 1, right? What are you actually genuinely able to do? You're not going to plant an apple tree now and have it bearing fruit this summer. Even if it's an apple tree that's fairly mature, chances are it's not going to be ready this summer, right? Same with a I don't know, a pear tree, a orange tree, whatever the hell it is, right? These are not going to be ready immediately. So you need to think long term. Short term, what can you do? Potatoes grow rampantly. What is the right type of soil you've got? That's what this is talking about, right? Small steps. Don't be overconfident, because that will be your undoing, right? In the same way, because me and Melinda, we are the same person, basically. We're second cousins, twice removed, 3 times removed on our mother, father's, cousin's side, or something, right? Melinda is convinced that if we did some sort of DNA test, we would be related. Absolutely convinced is Melinda. So we have had a chat over the years, and I know that Melinda has a similar sort of low spoon type illness that I have, and Melinda does sometimes take on more than she can manage, right? And it's not speaking out of turn, Melinda, but I do think this is that card that both you and I need at various times, which is saying, don't be overconfident. Don't think that you can go ahead tomorrow and buy 25 different pot plants, pots, all the soil, get all the soil delivered and all the seeds and everything, and then magically you're going to have all the energy and all the good health days that you need to get out there, make sure everything is planted, make sure all the plants are watered, make sure everything. You need to scale it back, right? You need to scale it back. Excuse me. I think you've got every opportunity, but don't be over ambitious, right? Start small. Learn those lessons, build up. I tried to do a compost bin, right? We've had a compost bin in our garden for 8 years. Has it ever produced compost? No. It's got loads of stuff in it that's rotting down. Have I ever dug out the bottom of it? No. Because that's a really big job, and there's also a load of spikes and things that have been put into it. So now we've bought one of those rotating compost tumbler bin things, and it makes compost a lot quicker, because I've learned I cannot bend and dig and get a shovel in and carry soil and things like that. I am not capable physically of doing that, but I can probably, with a tumbler that you just tip upside down, put a bucket underneath and catch the dirt, I can probably do that. That's doable, that's manageable. And this card is saying the same thing for you, my darling. Don't go in expecting to, for this garden in the first year to be providing all your fruit and veg. It's not going to happen. What you need to know, the journey is going to be slow. You got the Chariot. The Chariot is all about the journey, right? This way round. This journey is not going to go the way that you expect. It's not going to go the way that you think. You're going to get diversions along the route. Right? This is your universe's sat-nav saying, the road ahead is blocked. Finding you a diversion. Please make a U-turn when you can. This is what the universe is going to be saying to you, right? In terms of the garden. So scale it back. Scale it back. Just bring it, make sure it's manageable in the first year. Because what you don't want to do is buy a load of pots, buy a load of dirt, put a load of plants in. Yay! This year's great, and then next year when it's overwintered and you've got spring next year, you've suddenly got a load of pots that have got weeds in. They all need digging out. They all need digging through. You've got it's a lot. Think of this as a long-term journey, right? Think of this Chariot card. Yes, I think long term, I don't have any doubt in your abilities long term, but short term, think of it as an ongoing journey, right? That's what I was trying to say just now. Think of this as an ongoing journey. There will be decisions. So this is the opportunity. This is what's to come. There will be some hard decisions now. And I do think just listening to this and having that light bulb moment, probably with what I've been speaking about, where you go, oh, actually, do you know what? Lisa's probably got a point. Maybe I'm a little bit ambitious. Maybe I need to just scale that back a little bit. this 7 of Wands, 7s are tough choices, 1s are about your confidence, right? Don't get me wrong, I have every confidence in my head, in my mind's eye, that if you wanted to plant a wonderful flower garden, a herb garden, you can do it, right? It will take work, and it's not just the planting, it's the watering, it's the tendering, it's the weeding, it's the deadheading, it's all of that takes that effort. I do think you're going to have some difficult choices in terms of the garden, right? I genuinely do. With this 7 being reversed, I think it's going to be tough. And I think there are going to be times where you will sit there of an evening after a scorching hot day, knowing that you really need to get out there and water everything. However, you will be sat there going, I'm bloody exhausted. Oh my God, I've got no energy. I've got no spoons. Maybe I'll water it. I'll have to get up early and water it. I'll water it tomorrow. And then the next day will come, and you're going to be in that situation where everything's a bit dry. Will everything survive that day? But you haven't got the energy to water it. And that's what this card is talking about, right? It really is. It's talking about there's going to be difficult days. And I think starting at an easier way, don't forget, if you're wanting to produce crops or fruits and vegetables, even a tomato, it takes a hell of a lot of water to produce that, right? And if you live, because obviously you live in the States, if you live in a warmer area, it's even more water. So pre-plan an irrigation system, a tap and some hoses with a few little holes pricked in that you can leave on low during the night. Whatever it is, raised beds, whatever you can do to make things easier, do all of that, right? In all honesty, I'm going to pull you one more from the top of the deck. I don't think you're going to get wildly successful and abundant in the first year, right? But in the long term, I think you'll be okay. So again, a swords, 5 of swords. Swords are hardship, hurdles, challenges. Swords are the learning curve. You know this already because you've been here long enough. The life lessons, right? 5s are in that midpoint. I think you're going to have decision. This is going to be a year, right? I reckon in the long hot days of the summer, you will go, bloody hell, Lisa. God, you were friggin' right. I'm really annoyed at you, Lisa, because you said I would feel too knackered to water, and I'm too knackered to bloody water, even though I've got to go and water. Oh, right? Because this is saying that there are going to be these difficult times and these moments where you're just like, do you know what? This is too much. This is too much. And I know you're probably already thinking, it'll be right. I can do some water in, get the hose out. It's fine. I can manage that. But just please, I think you will be fine, right? It will be difficult. There will be some lessons this year. The 5 is midway point. So midsummer, right? Midsummer, midway point through the season. I think that you are going to go, oh my God, she was bloody right. I can't tell her she was right because she'll never let me live it down. But oh God, my advice, right? From what the cards are saying, my advice, low maintenance crops, low maintenance plants, herbs that can go a couple of days without being watered, crops that if you need to water them are at a level where you can just chuck a hose on them as long as there's not a hose pipe ban, right? And things that you are able to put watering systems into place for. I saw somebody use like an old Coke bottles and things that you push in the ground, so they open. You cut the bottom off. Have I got one? No. You cut the bottom off, right? So imagine this is that. You turn it upside down, you cut that bottom off, and you've got all of this area, right, as a funnel. And then basically you pour the water into the top and it goes straight into the dirt that way, that far underneath the ground, right? And it means that it's not sitting on ground level getting evaporated. In this country, in the UK, we'd have to worry about that because there's only about 3 hours every year where the sun's warm enough in the UK for that to happen. But in the rest of the world where you actually get a summer that's warm, you don't want the water to sit on the surface because it will just evaporate off, right? So something like that. Look into all of those lowest maintenance options that you possibly can, and look specifically for low maintenance crops and things that you can grow. I love strawberries. Luckily they grow like wildfire. They send runners out everywhere. Strawberries are a good one. Tomatoes, I would not bother growing tomatoes. They taste lovely, but you spend months and months and months of work to get a couple of handfuls of tomatoes. Yet yes, they do taste better than the shops, but you literally only get a couple of handfuls of them. And it's months of work, hard work, watering, pruning, cutting back, nipping, doing all of these things. It's much easier just to go, do you know what? My tomatoes I'm going to buy in the supermarket. My courgettes, or zucchini, my cucumbers I'm going to buy in the supermarket. My herbs, my flowering plants, my potatoes, my sweet potatoes, my butternut squashes, all of those I'm going to grow because they're all manageable. But the rest of it, I'm going to buy those in the supermarkets. I hope that helps, my darling. I've got no doubt at all that this first year of having a crop garden, that is going to be like, you will get there and you will learn a lot of lessons. Don't give up on it. I think, yes, it will be abundant, right? I have faith in you that it will be, but I don't think it's going to be like, I don't think it's going to save you hundreds and hundreds of dollars this year in your food bill, but in years to come, it probably will. I hope that helps. I really do hope that helps. Thank you ever so much, everybody, for joining me today. You want to say nettles to keep them away. What? To keep what away? What do you keep away with nettles? Oh, and slugs. Oh my God, slugs and all of that. Yay. Add a little each season. Yep, that's a good thing. That's a good way of doing it. Get a garden fence and a tarp, and you put the tarp over your plants at night time, and the hares will hopefully leave it alone. Oh my God, you've got hares as well. No deer nearby. Your issue is desert hares. Depending on, I don't know whether there's a hare season, but there's quite a nice, there's like, not Holland, close your ears. There's quite a lot of good meat on a hare, you know. I'll just put that out there. There's quite a lot of good meat on a hare. Tastes a bit like chicken. It's quite a nice meat. Deer will eat everything you grow. I know, right? Yeah, a little at a time. That's the way to do it. That is the way to do it. Yes, I know, my darling. Small and little. Start with a couple of pots. Go from there. Oh my God. See, look, I wish I could grow these things. Cherry tomatoes grow really well and don't require as much faff as regular ones. That's true. They do take a lot of water. Tomatoes, peppers, things like that take a lot of water. They really, really, really do, more than you would imagine. So as long as you've got a irrigation system, a hose system, that isn't just you stood there with a hose at the end of it every day, as long as you've got a way of watering like that, you'll be fine. But again, as the water bills go up, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it is just cheaper to go, do you know what? I can buy that with a lot less hassle. All of the pollinators, all of the herbs, they are fairly hardy, fairly easy, and a really good way for somebody who's into their witchy stuff and into like stuff like that as well. Really, really, really good way of starting it. I'm doing that this year with herbs, because we've had tomatoes, we've had strawberries, I've still got blueberries and strawberries and raspberries and all of those things, and rhubarb is really good as well. Still got all of those in our garden. We've stopped the tomatoes this year. We're not going to have any of that. We probably still will have our squashes and our potatoes, but everything else, we're going to just effectively cut our losses, because it's a lot of work for very little produce. And with that, my darling, I'm going to take off my my witchy hat pin badge, because I don't want it to get damaged as I go in the lounge. And I'm going to say to everybody, thank you very much for joining me tonight. I've really enjoyed today, both the there we go, both the thingy, the members only, and this chat. I've had a really, really lovely evening. Thank you so much to Patricia for all your hard work. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to Ed and to Holland as well, for popping in where we can. Don't eat them like that then. Oh, are they? Don't eat hares. Is hares not the same as rabbits? You're inviting badgers to... Okay, don't eat hares. Don't eat hares. And they've also got worms. So don't eat hares. No, don't eat hares. No, don't eat hares. But yes. But yeah, you've got this. You have got this, Melinda. Just go in all eyes wide open this year, if that makes sense. And not just in the Stanley Kubrick film. But anyway, I will see you very, very, very soon. I'm back on Tuesday evening in 2 days' time with another live stream. But I'm also, in theory, hopefully it'll be up tomorrow with our Path Ahead video for April, looking at the magical dates in April, what the dates are for various witchcrafty and magical spiritual paths, and also I will be giving you a brand new individual exclusive ritual that I will write. I haven't done it yet, but I'll be writing tonight and tomorrow for April, so it will be exclusive to this here channel. So if you want to keep an eye out for that, do please make sure you're subscribed and hit your bell and change your notifications to all. That is really, really important. And if you think you've subscribed already, double check and make sure that that is still triggered. YouTube's got a very handy habit of unsubscribing a lot of people at the moment. So with that being said, I will see you again on Tuesday. Stay you, stay true, stay authentic, and I will definitely see you next time. And yeah, there's only one thing left to say really, and that is who here is a witch?
They're witches.
So apparently I'm a witch.
'Cause she's a witch.
We've got a witch!
I'm the love witch.
I am a witch.
I am a witch.
I'm a witch!
Sally just came out.
Now the witch is back!